Hey guys, welcome! Don't forget to hit that follow button so you won't miss the next episodes. The clang of hammer against steel echoed through the sweltering forge. Sparks burst from the furnace, illuminating the broad chest of a man whose sweat glistened under the firelight. His dark eyes were steady, sharp, like tempered steel itself. This was Sorn, the most renowned blacksmith in the capital. The usual rhythm of the forge was broken that day when a royal carriage stopped outside. A soldier's voice rang out, "Make way! Lord Sri Sawat, the official overseeing the army's weaponry, has arrived." Bootsteps resounded. A young nobleman entered, his every step carrying grace and authority. His fine robes shimmered with gold thread, his dark jane glowing under the furnace light. And yet, his gaze was not haughty. He looked around with quiet curiosity. Sri Sawat's lips curved into a faint smile. "So this is the forge they say is the finest in the kingdom." Sorn set down his hammer and wiped his sweat from his brow before stepping forward. His deep voice carried calm strength. "It is, my lord. I am Sorn, master of this forge." Sri Sawat nodded, his eyes lingering on the man's rugged face and powerful frame. "He had heard your name often. They say your skill is unmatched." "I am but a man who works to fill his stomach, nothing more. Do not speak of me so highly, my lord." But the noble's eyes betrayed a different truth. He stepped closer, the firelight painting his handsome features. "In the contrary, I've never seen anyone strike steel with such certainty." Days later, footsteps returned to the forge. To the guard's surprise, Lord Sri Sawat wore no lavish robes this time, only plain, simple clothes. "My lord," Sorn greeted, setting down his hammer. "I did not expect to see you again." The noble smiled softly, his gaze gentler than before. "Last time, I never had the chance to ask, what is it you think of when you forge a blade?" Sorn fell silent for a moment, then spoke in his low voice. "I think of the one who will hold it. Whether soldier or commoner, I want every blade of mine to protect its bearer's life." The honesty in those words left Sri Sawat speechless. He studied the man framed by fire and sweat, then sighed quietly. "So different from me. I stand among hundreds in the palace, yet I feel alone. There is no one I can speak the truth to, except perhaps you." Sorn raised his brows, surprised that a noble would bare his heart to a lowly smith. "Why entrust such words to me?" Sri Sawat met his gaze. "Because I believe you would listen, without judgment." Silence stretched, broken only by the crackle of flames and the rhythm of their breaths. Sorn chuckled softly. "I may not speak well, but if you need someone to listen, I will." The noble's smile then was genuine, as though a long-carried weight had finally lifted. "That alone brings me peace." That evening, the royal palace blazed with lanterns. Music filled the air, and nobles in jeweled attire laughed and gossiped. Sri Sawat entered the grand hall in full regalia. But the whispers began not because of him. They began because of the broad-shouldered man walking at his side, Sorn, the blacksmith. Sneers rippled through the crowd. A noble bringing a smith to a banquet. How tasteless! He belongs by the furnace, not among us. Sorn heard every word. His jaw tightened, his dark gaze sharp with anger. But Sri Sawat's composure never wavered. He smiled, serene. When it came time to praise craftsmen, one noble sneered aloud. "I wonder, is this smith of yours truly as skilled as you claim, or just a tale spun too far?" Laughter scattered through the hall. Sorn stepped forward, voice heavy with restrained fury. "The steel I forge is not for show. It is to protect lives. If you cannot see the worth of a blade, then do not mock it." The hall fell silent. Few had ever heard a commoner speak so boldly before nobles. Sri Sawat let out a quiet laugh, placing a hand on Sorn's shoulder. "And that is why I respect him." The sincerity in his gaze made Sorn's heart tremble, hotter than any fire in his forge. Music still played, laughter still rang, but in the shadowed corners of the hall, danger crept unseen. Sorn's sharp eyes caught it, a stranger slipping closer, knife gleaming in hand. In a heartbeat, the assassin lunged straight for Sri Sawat. "My lord, look out!" Sorn threw himself forward, shoving the noble aside. Steel clashed, bodies tumbled, and in the struggle, their lips crashed together. Time froze. Sri Sawat's eyes widened, his pulse racing wildly. Sorn, hardened by fire and toil, felt a heat far more consuming than flame. Soldiers stormed in, seizing the assassin. The danger passed. But in the hidden corner where the two men lay, the chaos outside meant nothing. Sorn tore himself away, face flushed crimson. I did not mean—" His voice faltered. Sri Sawat rose slowly, eyes locked on the smith, lips tingling with the echo of that fleeting touch. He said nothing, only stared, as though he had stumbled upon a secret his heart had always known. Days after the banquet, both men avoided each other. Their hearts were restless, haunted by that accidental kiss neither dared mention. Sri Sawat carried out his duties in the palace as usual, but one silent night, the shadow returned. Footsteps echoed down the corridor. A blade flashed. He drew the short sword at his side just in time. Steel rang against steel. Though skilled, he was no hardened soldier. Blood spilled from a cut along his arm. The assassin vanished into the darkness, leaving only dread behind. Panting, sword trembling in his grip, Sri Sawat's thoughts raced. That was no ordinary killer. Someone powerful is behind this. And yet, the first face that came to his mind was not his king, nor his allies. It was Sorn's. Gritting his teeth, he let the blood drip to the floor. There was only one truth in his heart. I must go to him. He is the only one I can trust. Night fell heavy with rain. Soaked and bleeding, Sri Sawat rode hard to the forge. His fist pounded the door. Moments later, it opened. Sorn's eyes widened at the sight before him. "My lord, you're hurt." The noble nearly collapsed against him, voice hoarse. "I was ambushed. I trust no one anymore, except you." Without a word, Sorn lifted him onto a horse and rode into the wild. Through the storm, they reached a hidden cave in the forest. Inside, fire crackled softly against the rain outside. Sorn tore the bloodied robes from Sri Sawat, wrapping his wound with steady hands. "The cut is deep," he muttered, his rough palms brushing pale skin. But it missed anything vital. Sri Sawat watched him silently, eyes shimmering in the firelight. His voice was weak but heartfelt. "You've saved my life. Again and again. I don't know how to repay you." Sorn paused, gaze locked with his. "I need no reward. If you live, that is enough for me." The words sank deep. Sri Sawat reached out, laying a hand over Sorn's calloused one. "Sorn, I am so weary, yet here, with you, I feel warm." The walls around their hearts crumbled. Sorn pulled him close, pressing a rough kiss to his forehead. Then, slowly, to his lips. The kiss deepened, fiery yet tender. Hands roamed, exploring what had never been touched before. Clothes fell away, leaving only heat, breath, and skin. That night, in the glow of fire and storm, they became one. Not out of fleeting desire, but a bond born of trust, passion, and truth. Morning light spilled into the cave. Sri Sawat stirred on a rough blanket, Sorn's heavy arm draped across his chest protectively. His heart beat softly, memories of the night still burning in him, sweet, fierce, unforgettable. When Sorn awoke, his smile was gentle. "You're awake, my lord." "Don't call me that," Sri Sawat whispered. "Here, I want to be just a man." Sorn chuckled low. "Then today I'll show you how a simple man lives." And so they walked into a small village at the forest's edge. Sri Sawat fetched water, lit fires, even tried cooking rice. The tasks were clumsy, but the laughter he shared with Sorn made it priceless. To the villagers, he was only a handsome stranger traveling with the blacksmith. No one questioned further. At sunset, they ate by the fire, grilled fish, rice, a small bowl of chili paste. "This," Sri Sawat said with a rare smile, "is the finest meal of my life." Sorn laughed, serving him more rice. "Don't exaggerate. It's nothing but village fare." But the noble shook his head, gaze warm. "It's not the food. It's because I share it with you." Sorn fell silent, warmth filling his chest. That night, instead of the cave, they lay beneath the stars. The night wind was cool, the heavens alight with countless stars. In each other's arms, they drifted into the most peaceful sleep they had ever known. Days passed. The simple life in the village became something Sri Sawat longed never to leave. But deep down, he knew peace could not last. One moonlit night, he sat by a stream, face shadowed with thought. Sorn joined him quietly. "You're thinking about the palace," Sorn said. "Yes," the noble admitted. "I want to stay here with you forever. But the truth is, I'm hunted. If I don't face this, one day they will come for you, or these villagers." Sorn's voice rumbled firm. "Then I'll go with you." Sri Sawat turned to him, startled. "The road is dangerous. You need not risk your life for me." but Sorn's dark eyes burned steady. "I will not let you face it alone. Wherever you go, I will stand by you." The noble's throat tightened. "You give me courage I never had." They clasped hands in the silence of flowing water. In that look between them lay a vow unspoken. That night, they held each other tighter than ever, and at dawn, they mounted their horses, leaving the village behind, ready to confront the shadows in the palace together. War drums thundered in the palace courtyard. Tension thickened the air as nobles, officials, and soldiers gathered. At the center stood Sri Sawat, unflinching. Beside him, Sorn, gripping a blade he himself had forged. From the shadows emerged the true traitor, a powerful noble smirking with contempt. So bold, returning with a mere blacksmith to challenge me. Sri Sawat stepped forward, voice clear across the courtyard. "Today, before all, I reveal the truth. It was you who ordered the assassins, you who sought the throne." Gasps and whispers erupted. Soldiers wavered. The traitor only laughed, signaling his guards. "Seize them! Leave no survivors." The courtyard erupted in steel. Sorn surged into the fray, each swing of his blade carrying the weight of fire and iron. Sri Sawat fought at his side, wounded but resolute, eyes blazing with defiance. Then, loyal soldiers, whom Sri Sawat had prepared, brought forth hidden evidence and witnesses. Cries rang out, "This man is the usurper! He betrayed the realm!" The tide turned. The traitor was seized, and victory was theirs. That night, they returned to the forge. Firelight flickered on bare skin as garments fell away. "Sorn, I need you," Sri Sawat whispered, voice trembling with longing. The blacksmith's strong arms pulled him close, lips crashing onto his in a kiss of fire. They surrendered to passion, hands tracing muscle and skin, breathless moans mingling with the crackle of flame. In that night of fire and sweat, they celebrated not only triumph, but the love forged in blood, danger, and devotion. One evening, they climbed to a cliff's edge. The wind was cool, carrying away the weight of all that had been. Below lay a quiet village. Above, the sky was strewn with stars, but the brightest light shone in the way they looked at each other. Sri Sawat held Sorn's rough hand tight. "Sorn, I never thought I would know peace like this, with anyone." Sorn's low smile was tender. "And I have learned true happiness is simply being with you." The wind whispered around them. Sri Sawat leaned in, lips brushing Sorn's in a gentle kiss, not hurried, but full of love, understanding, and warmth. When they parted, their hands remained entwined, eyes met beneath the endless stars. No words were needed, both hearts knew. That night on the cliff's edge, they sealed not just a love, but a promise of a new life forged together.